Hi, I'm Laura from 5 out of 4 Patterns, and today we're going to talk about the shoulder tie binding for the new Romper pattern. Let's get started. As you can see, we've got our bodice piece. I've already completed one side of the shoulder binding, and I've tied it, and you can see what we've got here. And I'm going to show you how to do the second side. Now, what I have here, this is the swim top version with the ruffle, and it's a size 2. So in order to get the proper sizing for your binding piece, you're going to need to follow the chart in the tutorial and find the measurements that coordinate with the size that you are making. So there's also a chart in there for a measurement that points to mark, I think is what it's called. And for me, for the size 2 that I'm making, I need to mark the center, which means folding my binding piece in half and then marking the center with a clip or a pin and then unfolding it. And then for a size 2, I'm going to be measuring out from the center 3.25 inches. So I'm going to mark it with a pin. 3.25 inches from the center on both sides. Now what this will be for is this is how we will attach it to the sleeve itself, or the bodice, underarm part of the bodice itself. So here we are. I've got my bodice here. I've got it folded where this is the unfinished arm piece where we're going to do the shoulder binding, the tie binding, and I've got my binding piece. So I'm going to take it right sides together, the right side of the binding to the right side of the bodice, and I'm going to use the center pin to align to the seam, the side seam here, and then I'm going to pin it in place. Now, my next thing is to take the two places that I pinned, 3.25 inches outside from the center, and I'm going to use that as the end where the neck binding ends. That's where those are going to be. And you'll see that you will need to stretch just slightly when you're stitching this piece. So you'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, my next step is to take this to my machine and just stitch it 1/4 inch across from this neck binding all the way down around the bottom of the sleeve to that neck binding. So I'll be right back. So I've attached the binding to the bodice itself, and so you can see how it's attached here. The next step is to just is to follow the same instructions for the double fold binding tutorial that we have. You can use pins, which is what I have. You can use clips, which I don't have. And you can also use, to make your life really easy, is the wash away wonder tape. I normally have some on hand, but for some reason I have run out and haven't gotten more. So I'm going to show you with the pins what I do, but the wash away wonder tape is like a miracle worker. So if you have that on hand, I highly suggest using it. It just makes life so much easier. So here we are. We did our right sides together, and now we're going to fold in to where they meet, and then fold again. This is where you will clip, or you will use your wonder tape, okay? And I will do this all the way down. The thing that makes this just slightly more complicated is that when you get to the end here, you have this piece on either side that doesn't have any bodice to connect to. But you're just going to continue with the folding over on itself, just like the double fold binding. And you're just going to attach it secure it as best you can, as much as you need to do for yourself. Sometimes I pin a lot, sometimes I don't pin a lot. It just depends on how risky I want to be that day. So as you can see, I'm just going down the line here, pinning, and you can clip, and wonder tape would make it even faster. All the way to the end. So I will fold it on itself. Let me show you a little bit closer, see if you can see here. Make sure everybody can see. Okay, so we have it folds here, right? And then the other side folds this way. and then it folds on top of itself. Just like that, just exactly like the double fold binding. So I'm going to continue folding and pinning all the way down, and then I will be stitching on the top side, or the right side, all the way across from side to side, right here at the seam. All right, and I'll be right back to show that to you. Here we are with our completed shoulder tie bindings. And that's it. That's all there is to it. It is the cutest little finish to this romper or tank or swim top. Now you have the cutest little ties for your little girl's romper. Have fun with the next one you make. Bye.